OINP is about to change. In 2026, we're going to see a huge overhaul of the whole Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program. So this is what we're talking today in this video, and we're going to go through all the major changes that we may be able to see and expect in 2026. My name is Olena Weber. I'm regulated Canadian immigration consultant, and as usual, today I have Cory Weber, RCIC at Weber Immigration, here with us. All right, Cory. So we just saw this regulatory proposal on OINP website, and we're going to share actually the whole document. And by the way, guys, you can actually find it online on the official government page. And we're going to go through the proposal of how the OINP program may be amended in 2026. Okay. All right, so here's the proposed amendments to the Ontario PNP program, and we're going to go through these, proposals. And by the way, this is not set in stone just yet, and we definitely, can see changes to this. But this is what's being proposed, or this is what's being on the table. And Ontario right now is basically
I think that's
gathering.
a good point to make. This is not set in stone yet. That this is, as it says right there, just proposed amendments, right? And so it's not like everyone needs to jump and freak out and start, screaming and crying about it just yet. So let's see if the proposals, I think at the bottom of this document, it even mentions that they're looking for feedback as well, right? So they mentioned the proposals and they say, yes, so let's get through it before we, get too scared and think like, oh my God, what's happening? OINP is broken. So let's, not panic just yet, because again, it's just a proposal.
Exactly. However, I do have to say that in most of the cases when we've seen these proposals before, then they do partially or fully, they come into the actual place and they get...
That's true. And like we did see with the cancellation, unfortunately, of the skilled trades category, basically all the not cancellation, but all the applications returned. So, OINP is going under some changes, obviously. So, it's most likely something's changing. We just don't know yet exactly. Like, this is the proposal. We'll have to see if it is what will happen in the end. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we have two phases of basically how OINP program can be like updated or redesigned. So phase number one, the ministry is proposing to actually simplify employer job offer streams, and instead of 3 streams, they're offering just to do one unified stream. So they're offering to replace 3 existing streams for employer job offer and just have only one general stream. So currently we have employer job offer foreign worker, international student, and in demand. But what they want to do just one stream.
It looks like they want to do one stream, but they're going to break it down by tier level. So let's think of it as like one stream with 2 branches on it, if you will. One for tier 0 to 3, so those high skilled positions, and then another branch on this stream, which would be for the tier 4 to 5 knock codes. So basically, you could think of it like almost like in demand skills as sort of being kept, and it's just changing though, right? It's all under one category, which again, it's going to be under job. These are still job offers, right? So that's the main thing, is like this is still employer supported, employer driven streams. But yeah, we're getting rid of the international student, we're getting rid of the foreign worker, and we're getting rid of the in-demands and kind of combining them all into one sort of category.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, they still have to have a job offer from Ontario employer. The offer still needs to meet median wage. And graduates from eligible Ontario institutions may qualify, at a lower wage. So this is all stays the same in terms of job offer and wages, all kind of the same. Now, what's changing is work experience. So what's interesting here is experience requirement is changing quite drastically, because now you need to meet only one of the following. So you either need to show 6 months of work experience in Ontario in the job offer knock with the job offer employer,
So you're
or
already, yeah, that, meaning you're in that position already. You're already working for that employer. Then you only need 6 months. Right now, it's different right now. Yeah.
yeah, or you need to show 2 years of work experience. It doesn't have to be with the same employer. It can be overseas, but it needs to be in the last 5 years in the same knock number.
Yeah.
So what it does is it actually provides more flexibility to the applicants, and it's going to make people who were not eligible before actually eligible now, because right now for foreign worker stream you need to show 2 years,
2
whether
years.
in Canada or outside of Canada, with the job offer employer or not. It just needs to be 2 years of experience for sure, but now it may be only 6 months that is
Exactly.
requiring.
Yeah. Which really simplifies things. If you think of how, I talk to a lot of people who, I'm really interested in OINP and how it is currently structured right now. If you're in Canada, if you're already in these positions, a lot of people don't have the full 2 years completed, and they might not, this might be a new job for them after school in Canada, and you're working, and it's like, oh, 2 years is a long time to get to if you don't have that in your background in your last 5 years. So I mean, this really is a drastic change. Like 2 years, to drop that down to 6 months is huge, right? So
Yeah.
that really will open it up, actually open it up. And I mean, it's going to be more competitive now
Yep.
if you think about it, because there's going to be so many more people qualified for this position based on the 6 months instead of 2 years, right? So actually, it's a significant change. It
For
truly
sure.
is.
It's a significant change. So it's good and bad. As you said, it's more competitive, but at the same time, people who didn't qualify before may be having a chance. Now, what I want to point out is that it says specifically that this program would prioritize candidates already in Canada. So we know
Mhm.
that, this is a direction that this program is going to take, as well as federal government is taking that direction as well. I think generally immigration right now is directed on people who are in Canada. So that's good to hear for sure. Okay, so that's one of the big changes. Now for education, I don't think there was any big changes
It's
here.
basically the same. I think it's the
Yeah.
only thing is that it does mention if you are in the position and you have those 6 months already, you don't need to meet any education requirements
Yeah.
for that position. So no minimum education if you have 6 months of work experience. If you don't have that, you do need to have that post secondary credential, as it says there. Yeah.
Also, what's nice, I already mentioned it, but I think it's nice that if you have graduated from Ontario institution, then you don't need to have a median wage. You can actually go with a lower wage, which is very nice, because median wage is incredibly high. I don't know why it's called median, because in reality it's high. It's
Yeah.
really, really high. So that's really nice. That gives advantage to international students.
Yeah, so it,
Um,
it, it is just basically it's a continuation of the international student stream. It's just kind of grouped in together with foreign workers. So actually international student, all of the same qualities are here, right? It's
yeah.
covered the same way. Um, so yeah, but it's just basically smashed together with the foreign
Yeah, it's
workers.
like a hybrid. It's a
Hybrid,
hybrid
yeah,
of both. Yeah. All right. And for this second branch that you mentioned, that is like right now it's called in demand, but really it's
yeah.
going to be under all one same stream. So those people with tier 4 or 5, they would need to, of course, still have job offers. And what's changing here, and they still need to show 9 months of work
Yeah,
experience, so
that's the
nothing
same.
changed here. Yeah.
The
So
major,
work
I think,
experience.
change is the list of it names that all tier 4 and 5 knocks would be eligible. So right now in the in demand skills stream, it's a list that the Ontario government came up with, and I can't remember how many are there. Maybe 30 knock codes, roughly.
Yeah.
Let's say something around that number. Now they've mentioned all tier 4 and 5 knock codes. So we're talking about hundreds potentially of new positions or more. I'm not sure how many knock codes there are in tier 4 and 5, but lots. So a whole new pack of potential people could be eligible, right, which is a major difference as well.
Yes. However, they do point out that draws would be focused on labor needs, right? So it's
Yeah,
not like they're going to invite all of them.
that's right. Yeah, your
Yeah.
job still needs to be in demand. That's kind of, it still reflects the in demand part of the OINP intention. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. And I think, if anything, it makes this program less predictable, because previously we were able to go on Ontario In Demand page, have
Yeah,
the list of 30 knock numbers, and confidently say that our
that's
clients
right.
would be able to be invited as long as they score the points, right? Now,
Yeah,
because there's no list specifically, that list can change anytime, right? So it's less
exactly.
predictable. So it's good in a way, because people who didn't have opportunities are going to get those opportunities, but in the same time, it's just harder to
It would
work
be
with.
hard to predict. Yeah, you would have to really wait for the first, like, if this is implemented, you'd have to really wait to see how the first draw or two or three, if there's any kind of patterns you can pick up, or which jobs are going to be the major targets, or are they going to just like pick and choose some from here and some from there, and then the next draw totally different. So that would be interesting to see what their plans are with that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're saying that ministry could use this overall employer job offer stream, so now it's only one stream, to invite applicants by region, occupation, or other criteria to address pressing employer labor needs. So
Yeah.
basically what they're doing now anyways.
Essentially, yeah, we see already with Northern Ontario being targeted, sometimes Eastern Ontario, and we have like what is it called? The REDI, REDI, which is
Yep.
specific regions in Ontario that they're like hyper focused down into, like, the Kingston area or Sudbury, or they've had some kind of draws like that. So that looks like it will continue, and they're going to target, might be specific cities, regions, parts of Ontario where if you happen to live in, let's say, Sault Ste. Marie, like, okay, here's your job offer, right? Or
Yeah.
here's your invite.
A very important part, like just the last one about this one, is that construction trades who are working in tier 4 and 5, I guess that's relative to that,
Mm-hmm.
would be able to actually have a union support instead of a job offer. Because as we know, union workers don't, like, they cannot really have the permanent full-time job offer. So union workers are generally pretty disadvantaged, because they're just like not able to apply through this program
Yeah,
for most part, right? So with this now change, that union support can be used instead of job
yeah.
offer, that's going to
That's
make it
pretty
easier.
significant, yeah, because a lot of those unionized jobs are, it's like you work here for a week and then you work somewhere else for a week.
Yeah.
In the union, you're moving around a lot, so it's really hard for those to find that full time permanent role. So this is a significant change as well.
Yeah, for sure. The only thing, it's not clear if it's applicable only to tier 4 and 5, or is it applicable? I think it's
Yeah,
applicable to everything.
it should be.
Yeah, but again, it's a proposal, so of course we would need to see. But I see actually this specific change sticking around for sure, because it just
Hmm.
makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Sense. Okay, and then phase two of our ONP redesign is, in my opinion, is more fun and making a bit less sense than the phase one. Because phase
Yeah.
one, I totally agree with. It makes total sense. It's logical. Phase two, this is when we're talking about our express entry alliance streams and like other than non-employer job offer streams,
Hmm.
right? So what they're proposing to decommission existing program streams. So basically, get rid of everything,
Everything.
get
Yeah.
rid of human capital. They already got rid of trades, like skilled trades express entry lines, uh, get rid of French speaking express entry. So they just want to decommission everything.
Yeah.
And I'm also assuming, and I don't know, I don't want to scare anyone, but I'm assuming that includes masters as well, right?
Well, masters, yeah, there was actually no mention in this report on those education ones, masters and PhD. There's nothing mentioned at all, but I guess, yeah, that would. I mean, it seems like that's kind of silly to take master's graduates and not give them a pathway anymore. I mean, that's a significant benefit for the province of Ontario. You want to encourage people to come and go to school and do your master's and do your PhD. So we'll see. Maybe that's not
Yeah, we'll
addressed here,
see. Yeah.
or yeah, who knows? Um,
Yeah, but so we'll see what they will actually decommission.
yeah.
But it seems like human capital is not
Well, I
going to
mean,
stick around in French speaking express entry, considering that we have not seen draws in a very long time for French speaking express entry. But what they're proposing to do is they're proposing to have a priority healthcare stream. And basically, priority healthcare stream is going to be dedicated not just for all healthcare professionals, but for those who are in regulated professions, so specifically that are registered with regulatory bodies. So we're not talking about our nurse
yes,
aides or something like
yeah,
that, right? We're talking about doctors, nurses, so those registered.
yep. Yeah, that's an interesting move too. I mean, obviously, we knew that, like, we know that obviously health is a huge target, but to then single out regulated professions, I mean, you're losing all, like, pharmacies and like pharmacy assistants, which we have had a lot of those in our clientele. Falling under the federal level, those are still existing, but here it seems like restrictive to say only regulated healthcare workers are included. So it's a bit of a
It's
strange thing.
it's just not that many of those, right?
That's
Like,
what
I
I
mean,
mean.
there
Yeah, like, how
are,
many
but
doctors, and maybe there's a few hundred doctors every year, and like nurses, and I think of all the how many people work in healthcare outside of just doctors, nurses, and like the other regulated ones. It's a lot. So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
yeah, and then they are renewing their entrepreneur stream, which, if you guys know, that entrepreneur stream in Ontario has not been working really well historically. So I've been in the industry for like 10 years and I don't remember that stream ever functioning properly. So I guess they're having their second shot at it, and they still want to target entrepreneurs that have established or actively operating business in Ontario, or who have purchased business in Ontario. Generally speaking, I would not put too much hopes on this because
Yeah.
it's just we've previously had bad experience. Like, generally, if you look in the statistics, even when this stream was functioning, it used to take close to 4 years to get permanent residence, and it would be around 10 to 15 people per year that would be approved under this stream. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the most successful stream that I've ever seen. And then the most interesting stream of today is an exceptional talent
Oh,
stream,
yeah,
which
that's a
is
new one. So, as you can see there, it's specifically for it's. I don't even know how this would work at the end of the day, but people who have exceptional talent in fields like in academia, innovation, science, and technology. So if you have what does it say, like publications or research contributions, prestigious awards, international recognition, or groundbreaking breaking innovations, and or notable creative works. So that's interesting, because everyone's going to say, well, I've graduated with honors from my university. Does that mean I'm a special person? Like, I don't know. Seems very subjective, and like it says, well,
it's
it
very
does involve.
similar to what used to be self-employed stream in on a federal level, and
Mhm.
basically it was designed for a lot of, like, let's say, athletic professional, like high international level
Yeah.
coaches, or international level athletes, or
Hmm.
international level people of art,
Musicians,
right?
yeah, artists, yeah.
yeah, artists, and it was working that way. But you can see it's exactly how it used to work on federal level. It was qualitative assessment, right? So
Hmm.
qualitative means very subjective
Yeah,
assessment.
yeah,
So yeah, definitely. Well, maybe it's a good pathway for some, but again, I don't expect an exceptional
huge
talent
numbers.
stream be
Yeah,
a huge stream. It's probably a couple of dozen people per year, and that's what I was going to
exactly.
see. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what the most interesting thing here is that there's no, we used to have human capital priorities. If I think the number if I remember correctly, in 2024, the number that came through that stream for Ontario is 12,700 or something like that. That was human capital priorities, and that's gone. Those 12,000 are gone. There is no mention of any type of human capital priorities at all. And if you think about it, in this year, 2025, how many draws have we had through express entry based categories? Any of them? The answer is zero in
Zero.
2025. Zero. So we went from 2024, thousands and tens of thousands of draws, and then now this year 2025, zero people applied. So they're already, it's like they're cleaning the slate already, right? And
Yep.
they have not um, invited anyone under express entry based streams in under OINP at all. And it looks like in 2026 that could possibly continue until this redesign happens. And they really are. It looks like getting rid of the human capital priorities, which will push more people into the employer based streams. That's what it seems like.
Exactly.
This
Well, if
change is going to.
we really think about like the kind of what we're left with is
Yeah,
that if you are an immigrant in Ontario and you're looking into economic immigration, options that you have on a provincial level is either you get your employer to
job
support you
offer.
with a job
Yeah,
offer, or you are regulated in a healthcare profession, which is obviously if you are, you are, if you're not, you're not.
yeah,
And then that's about
that's it.
it. Like, yeah, we don't have any other options. And on a federal level, we have express entry, which right now I would say 520 plus. That's like kind of general guidance. What
Yeah,
we give to clients is to aim for 520 plus.
yeah,
So that's really it. If it's either you get yourself to 520 plus or express entry, or you get your employer to support you with a job offer for Ontario PNP. And also, like, not everyone will be invited, right? So we need to would see if you have any chance to
yeah.
really get drawn for that employer job offer streams, or regulated healthcare professional, and that's about it.
Exactly. Yeah, it really seems limited to me. I don't know. Maybe that's why this is just a proposal again. But I mean, there's just so many other professions out there who are not regulated or not, covered here. Like, that would have been historically coming through OINP under human capital priorities, for example, that are just like, yeah, if you don't have a job offer now, it just seems strange to me that they would. It seems like they're limiting the programs, right? They really are like cutting down, um, which doesn't make much sense when we consider how many spots. Like we already know that the levels plan for 2026 they've increased for OINP for all the provinces, right? So the provincial
Yeah.
levels are back higher to what they were essentially at 2024. So 2025 was a bad year. 2026 we expected to be a good year again because of the level plan was mentioning higher numbers. But then the program proposal seems like it's again streamlining it and shrinking the amount of
But listen, maybe they will invite maybe huge numbers of people with
could
employer
be.
job offers, right?
Yeah, it seems like that's what will happen. Yeah, but the whole factor here is to get that job offer. You have to, hopefully, employers out there, because a lot of employers, you might be working for a company and just like, well, they just don't do job offers. Like my employer, you work for large corporations, large banks, all often, or like big companies like that. They just say, no, I'm not going to do a job offer for you. I'll just replace you with somebody else if unfortunately. So maybe that we'll see a lot of hyper competitiveness of people trying to get those employers who are able to give them the job offer, right? And I don't care, I'll pay me less just as long as you do the job offer for me, that kind of a thing. We'll see. It just seems a
Well,
little bit.
I just hope we're not going to get in a fraud kind of a
Yeah,
territory here,
that's
right?
why
Because
they're dipping their toes in like this problematic scenario where people are going to be fighting for these jobs that have job offers, or employers that have job offers or willing to do them. And then that's where you do see the fraud come up, right?
Yeah,
And
and then we're
unfortunately,
back to LMIA
LMIA
situation.
problems,
Yeah.
which used to be like people paying thousands of dollars for for false documents and false LMIAs. So hopefully it doesn't come to that, and OINP hopefully has the foresight to not get themselves into that position. But that looks like what they're creating is the climate where you need to have that job offer from an employer to be in under OINP. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you need to really figure out express entry 520 plus points,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, which is not easy for everybody, if you don't have foreign work experience or you don't have foreign, education, for example. If you're young and you came to Canada, did your college here first, it's really difficult to get into the 500s, right? If you don't have
Yeah.
foreign work experience, foreign education. So, yeah, it's, who knows, maybe with that, we will see the points come down in express entry because I don't know what kind of effect does this program an OINP have on the federal level. That would be interesting too, right?
Yeah, that would be interesting because that's another thing. We have to remember that Ontario has 55% of population of all immigrants in Canada. So
Yeah.
55% of all immigrants that come to Canada every year, they actually come to province of Ontario, meaning that any changes in provincial, immigration directly impact changes in federal
On the
immigration. And
federal
we've
level.
seen
Yeah.
it this year because this year Ontario PNP shut down and BC PNP shut down, and because of those two major provinces, that's why express entry pool was more
Ontario.
competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. You would normally have Ontario and BC and Alberta as well has it a lot, skimming off a lot of those people who are in the CEC, and they would, for example, like I mentioned in 2024, 12,000 plus human capital priorities. That was express entry. 12,000 pulled out of express entry directly into Ontario, and that's gone. That now that so will the points even stay high? Like who knows what knock-on effects that will have, right? But that is why we see such high points right now, because none of the provinces are pulling from express entry for 2025. So we do see
yeah,
530 plus in the scores right now. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. If you have any questions, please leave them in comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and stay tuned with all of these changes. Once the changes become solid, we will always let you know on our Instagram, on our YouTube channel. For now, those are just proposals. So stay tuned with our social media and we will let you know once we have a solid information. Thank you so much for watching.